And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Always here to talk about professional wrestling, Ring of Honor, TNA, sometimes the NWA. I'm trying to get more into like the independent kind of circuits here, like, the All Pro Wrestling, also the Major League Wrestling, New Japan Professional Wrestling. As time progresses, I try to, kind of dabble on here and there. So, recently, if you guys are just joining us, we talked about WWE Friday Night SmackDown review, and now we're going to get into our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. But before we move on, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. We get a number of questions from viewers like you that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you guys to use the GSMCpodcast.net link and just, post your questions. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you think is going to happen in wrestling. Tell me where you think this storyline with Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline is headed. So, obviously the show is good. The show's good, but it's a hell of a lot better with the audience engagement. Give me a shout out of where you're listening from. Tell me, just anything you want. Tell me anything you want in terms of professional wrestling. There's no judgment. There's no, use of, second guessing yourself. If you have a thought about wrestling, post it in the chat. There's no right or wrong answers, and it'll make the show a lot better. We're going to talk about it. We will talk about it. So, the link is at the GSMC podcast.net. So let's jump into Monday Night Raw. WWE Monday Night Raw is live tonight. Obviously not live because, I'm going to watch it as soon as I get done with this. It's going to be live in Indianapolis, Indiana. You saw the CEO, Triple H, say that they're going to do a lot more events. Obviously, they made a partnership with the sports community in Indiana. You're going to see like Royal Rumble. You're going to see Survivor Series. You're going to see WrestleMania. I think next year, it's going to take place all in Indianapolis. Like, it's crazy. Obviously, the form of the partnership, obviously, it's probably best for the company, I think in terms of funding and stuff like that, all you need is just, a little more money doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt a body. So, anyways. So Monday Night Raw tonight is going to be awesome. There's going to be a Money in the Bank qualifying match. You're going to see Bron Strowman against Chad Gable against Bronson Reed. Obviously, you see people like Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, and Andrade already have already qualified for the match. Strowman is a former Money in the Bank winner. He won in 2018. So that, obviously I didn't really think that Strowman was going to win to begin with, but my prediction would probably be Chad Gable winning. You kind of need that, like that, or Bronson Reed. Honestly, you can make a pretty good, compelling case for Bronson Reed to be in the Money in the Bank, ladder match. But usually when it comes to WWE, you have ladder matches. You kind of want people who, could jump off the ladder in any kind of moment. And I'm not saying that Bronson Reed isn't that guy. But Chad Gable, he just has so much, he just has so much anger, so much aggression, so much determination ever since Alpha Academy, basically left him. So that's a storyline within itself. But with him being a possible Money in the Bank winner, it could be huge. It could possibly be huge. So, honestly, I anticipate Chad Gable to win that. Next, we have a Money in the Bank qualifier in the women's. We have Shayna Baszler against Lyra Valkyria and Kairi Sane. Obviously, you have the two people already in the match. You have Io Sky and Chelsea Green, which I think is awesome for her. Honestly, I think I would like to see her have the briefcase. I think it'd be pretty badass. But you see unfinished business. You have unfinished business between Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane, who fought in NXT multiple times for the WWE Women's NXT World Championship. You also had them in the final of 2017 Mae Young Classic. And Lyra Valkyria has never fought Shayna Baszler, so that should be pretty badass. Lyra Valkyria has a 2-0 record against Kairi Sane. Which of these former WWE NXT Women's Champions will stamp their spot for Money in the Bank coming up on June 7th. I think it's June 7th. Don't quote me on that. But it's going to be good. Honestly, out of all these women, to be honest, my prediction would probably be, oh man, I think Shayna should win. I think Shayna Baszler should win, but Lyra Valkyria, ever since she's been drafted to WWE Monday Night Raw, she's just been on fire. She's been on fire. Kairi Sane isn't going to win because I feel like Io Sky's kind of already there for damage control. I don't know how far WWE is going to push Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks and this Sonya Deville kind of idea here. But honestly, I think Yeshua is Lyra Valkyria. She's very adamant. She's very incredible. She could, she's unpredictable. Like she can jump off the ladder at any time. Honestly, I would feel like she would be the best bet for WWE to kind of make this ladder match like a hell of a lot better. So honestly, I like Lyra Valkyria in this match. Next, we see Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston's going to fight against Karrion Kross. Kross wants Woods so bad in the Final Testament. And last week, you saw on Monday Night Raw, you saw Kofi Kingston cut off his man Xavier Woods. Are we heading for a New Day breakup? It's been so long. It's been so damn long that these guys have been together. Obviously, without Big E, it's a different kind of New Day. But I don't know if maybe it's hard for me to say goodbye. Maybe it's hard for me to say goodbye because I feel like these guys have been together for so long. Maybe that could be entertaining in terms of the shock factor. But something that I do not want WWE to do is to sacrifice and kind of want that shock factor that'll be absolutely crazy and phenomenal for about maybe 1 to 2 weeks. And then eventually you kind of have these two guys starting off their singles career and it's absolute like ass. Like it doesn't really like work out for Kofi. Obviously, you kind of had Kofi Kingston go out there. He was, Kofi Media, which was awesome. Then you had Xavier Woods never has really been on the WWE main card, but this is huge. If you're deciding to break them up, okay, do it. But you got to do it right. You got to do it right because if you don't, then it's going to be all bad. It's going to be all bad. Then they're going to have this reunion where they forgive each other, and the fans are going to know it's kind of BS. We're going to be like, dude, that's bullshit. Like, that's so stupid. Like, why even do it to begin with? So this is going to be very delicate. In my opinion, if I would see anybody kind of stabbing somebody in the back, I wouldn't even think it's Xavier Woods. I would never think it's Xavier Woods. I would probably think it would be Kofi. I would see Kofi Kingston. You can see Xavier Woods obviously in his corner from time to time throughout WWE history, throughout their run as the New Day tag team titles. I would probably best see Kofi turning his back on Xavier more than vice versa. I feel like that would be better. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Because you have Karrion Kross out there, and then you have Kofi Kingston. I feel like that New Day jealousy be like, why did you want Xavier Woods? Do you think he's more talented than I am? Do you think he would, he would be more of he'd be more of a, asset to the Final Testament? Kofi Kingston was once a WWE champion. Xavier Woods never really got a taste of singles competition. Never really got besides the King of the Ring, he never really had a taste of like singles competition gold. And I think if you're trying to make it into a storyline, you would have that kind of bottle up within Kofi Kingston to be like, you know what? I have been a champion before. Karrion, if you fully invest and help me out to get to the top, I have no problem leaving Xavier Woods behind. I feel like it would be better for WWE and the New Day if Kofi Kingston's the one to turn his back on Xavier Woods, because I think that Kofi Kingston has been around the WWE for so long. I would say maybe 6 to 8 years longer than Xavier Woods. Don't quote me on that. So obviously he still has retribution. Obviously he still wants to be, he's had a taste of singles career. He was Intercontinental Champion when he was, had, his Jamaican kind of get up And then he joined the New Day. They got a bunch of tag team title runs. I honestly don't see the New Day winning any tag team titles anytime soon. I think it's more or less perfect for Kofi Kingston to find a way into the Final Testament. If I had to see them break up, that's, obviously that's my opinion. If you have something different, if you want to let me know your thoughts and opinions, hit it up in the chat. More than willing to love, some things you guys have to say about this. So, yeah. And, kind of wrapping things up here, we also have Braun Breaker going against Ludwig Kaiser. We have a WWE Women's Tag Team Title championship match between Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, and also, against Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. And something to look out for. You're gonna have Drew McIntyre live on Monday Night Raw. It's been speculated that he's gonna make an appearance. What's gonna happen with Uncle Howdy? Obviously, he had that eerie horror movie film kind of debut by Bo Dallas and Uncle Wyatt in Uncle Howdy with the Wyatt6. What's gonna happen with Alpha Academy? Alpha Academy, they're looking for a new direction. They need a leader. Will Otis step up and be that leader? Will he ultimately find someone to kind of replace him to be his right-hand man? Only time will tell. And lastly, we're going to have the Judgment Day drama. Once again, Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Damian Priest. You're going to see JD McDonough. It's, the time is ticking. Time is running out on this Judgment Day faction. So it's going to be interesting to find out, how they decide to break them up and, and all that jazz. So yeah. Well, guys, do not go anywhere. We're gonna jump on into our next segment, which is women's wrestling power rankings. We're gonna talk about Eric's top 10 wrestlers in professional wrestling, of course, the women's division first. So hey, do not go anywhere.